Hello everyone, my name is Vivian. I'm 13 years old. I go to Shindong Childhood Campus. Today I'm going to talk about the effects on ecosystem. Let's start. Ecosystems. A beautiful sun rises over the desert. An owl disappears into a hole in a cactus plant. A snake emerges from under a large rock. It begins to look for breakfast. A small mouse appears out of the sand. It's looking for grass to eat. An eagle leaves her nest. She's in search of food for her babies. Insects buzz around the pond. The day begins in the desert. What is an ecosystem? In previous learning activities, you found out that the place where an organism lives is called a habitat. A habitat is a group of living things in an area. An ecosystem includes a habitat, but it also includes everything else in the area. An ecosystem consists of all living and non-living things in an area that work together. An ecosystem includes living and non-living things in an area. It includes rocks, lakes, streams, sand, and soil. In the desert scene, the rocks, sand, and pond were non-living things in that ecosystem. Each of these non-living things is important to the desert ecosystem. The rock and the sand provides homes to animals. The pond supplies water. Everything in an ecosystem is important. Everything is necessary. Types of ecosystem. Have you ever seen a tide pool on an ocean beach? A tide pool is a little pond formed when the tide brings ocean water onto the rocks. Some of this water is trapped from little ponds. All kinds of creatures can live there. A tide pool is one type of ecosystem. Ecosystems can be as small as a pond. It can be as large as a forest. The size of an ecosystem depends on who is looking at it. A scientist looking at just a lake ecosystem in a forest is interested in the living and non-living things only in the lake. A scientist looking at the ecosystem of a forest would want to study all non-living and living things in the entire forest, including things in the lake. Changing an ecosystem. Everything in an ecosystem works together. Changes in the ecosystem can affect everything in it. Think back to the desert scene. There was grass, a mouse, a snake, and an eagle. This plant and these three creatures formed part of a food chain. Thank you for listening.
Okay.